Okay, reasonable night other than I just can't sleep near as well in hotels. I like being intense. I am about to get going here, behind on my edits as usual, hoping that the road walk out of town won't be as bad as the road walk into town. I did kind of think that maybe if I waited till 10 o'clock, there wouldn't be rush hour issues. I think that's what I was seeing yesterday, everybody leaving New Albany, but we'll see. I talked to Jen last night and I was describing this trail as a whole lot of lows and highs. I was also grousing about the number of hotels I'd been in, and Jen was like, yeah, what'd you expect doing that trail? Ironically, I think I was expecting more hotels in that early section in Delaware, Maryland, and I did better there stealth camping than I thought. And then in this section, it's just been how the days divide up. If I wasn't under a time pressure, I could stay at the trail section and I could try and push through towns a little better. But I've kind of had to leave that behind and just say, okay, if I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I do have somebody coming to meet me today, so that'll be fun. Another person that says they've been following me since the old days, like 4 years ago when I started YouTube. The weather, near as I can tell, is supposed to be warm again with the potential for those afternoon storms that usually come about in summer. I was very tempted to try and get my beard trimmed so I looked a little less hobo-ish, but the place is opened at 10 and I couldn't get a hold of them for an appointment last night. Honestly, if this was a trail with hiker boxes, I'd just buy that reasonably cheap beard trimmer I use from Walmart and abandon it in a hiker box. The good news is, at least for the moment, my feet are once again tape-free. Everything is functioning reasonably well, at least for the next couple of hours. I did see some potential options for stealth camping outside of town last night. I made the call to get the hotel because they didn't look overly promising. I don't exactly have a good sense for how close I'm gonna get to Evansville yet. I have been managing to stay over 20 miles. I would prefer to be closer to 22, 25, but like I said, last couple of days I've been in rehab mode, so we'll see how today goes. So I did resupply last night. I am trying to shift more to gas stations versus the longer carries I was doing earlier. I think I'm noticing the extra weight having more of an impact on my feet, just thanks to all the pavement. I do love all the unique houses I get to see along the way. I do go through the occasional suburb, but far less. Well, that is different. Well, obviously I just missed out. I obviously should have called the Rustic Frog and asked them if they allow camping. So this was actually the section I had been eyeing on Google Maps. I figured I could make something work here. I just didn't know how heavy the traffic was. For the record, I could have made something work back there. No illegal drugs or fighting or gambling. That was a dead animal, but nope, wig. Long road walks can get kind of dull, so finding things on the side of the road is how I keep myself entertained. I didn't even have to ask him for water. He volunteered it. I had basically been on desert rules. If anybody offers something to drink, take it. Even if I'm full, anything else. Chug as much as I can, since I never know when the next one's coming. He also said he'd seen me walking, and a lot of people, and he said, oh yeah, we get a lot of homeless people, and they all have backpacks. But he said that I look different. Which, okay. Sleeping pad, trekking poles, I do try and visibly look more like a hiker than a homeless person as much as I can, as a person who is actually homeless. Every time I catch sight of the river, I just want to do another big canoe trip. like the Mississippi. That brought a smile to my face. Dawn had been watching videos since the Florida days and lives across the river, and so came out and brought a sandwich. So I am fed, I am hydrated, I am hopeful for the trail up ahead. He was saying that, yeah, it's going to be more remote, which is kind of what I guess from the maps. Also, if it looks like those clouds are looking more fun, oh yes, there is a red yellow thunderstorm trending in this direction. Looks like I got a couple hours till the main storm front arrives. There is a fair amount of lightning coming with it. We'll see if that gets here or not. I may have to hunker for a bit if that's the case. Oh, I really want to paddle that river sometime. The unfortunate part of being able to hike until 9 o'clock is when, say, a big storm is going to hit you at 4 and last for an hour and a half, 2 hours. You kind of can't just give up for the day without feeling like a wimp. Well, hell, I seem to be lacking a nice bridge refuge. Okay, that's a bit much thunder for my liking, considering the open bit, so I'm going for cover. Well, I could have timed that better. Didn't save me much in the way of getting wet, but at least I'm protected from the thunder and lightning. It's all farm fields out there, so this was the only cover I could find. Right across from my house, but I'm fine explaining myself if they want to come say hi. So I had to just throw this up quick and dirty, which is why I got pretty wet. Had to give up my umbrella. Looks like I just got 1 bar of reception, and it's a pretty big storm front coming behind. It looks like it got bigger instead of smaller and sped up. Since I wasn't expecting this for another half hour, I was going to start looking for options. My plan, at least for now, is this isn't it for the day. I'll just let the storm go over and then maybe try and get another couple hours this evening. Okay, well, that was a fun ride, but seems to be past. It's 5 o'clock, so I'm not going to stay here. I'm also right across from what I think is a Amish or Mennonite farm. If this wasn't just one little small patch in between houses and farms, this would be an almost ideal type of stealth camp. And nothing like having to pack up a wet tent and set up a couple hours later, huh? Okay, 5:20, back on the move. I feel like kind of a wimp running for cover, but hey, it's always nice not to die, you know? If I ended up a cinder on the side of the road, Jen would be quite upset when she flew out here in a couple of days. Well, that was pretty good coverage. It was, there was a window of the farmhouse looking kind of straight at me. They would have been able to see me after dark. But hey, while I lost more time, at least I still have a good amount of daylight left. It's 5 o'clock, so I can probably get another 4 hours out of this. $7:18. I've been trying to catch somebody's eye to ask for water, but I haven't had any luck. I, as usual, went through a bunch today, so I could really use some here, and then I'll just run out the clock till dark. I think there is a mini mart up ahead, but I'm kind of worried whether it's going to be open or not. Really small town. Well, that was listed as a marathon, and I thought I might be able to get water. Oh well. I think there's a Dollar General down here. I'll just end up buying some. It's getting kind of late. There's really a distinct lack of water fountains around here. Nothing at the school, the fire department, nobody outside. I just had about 6 kids come up while I was filling water and want to take a picture with me once they heard that I was hiking for 2 months. Okay, fully watered. That was actually a fun stop. Everybody was interested in what I was doing. Kind of wish I had the picture with all the kids, but People probably don't want to share that. So it is 8:24. I am basically in the market for a campsite. I have something I'm eyeing a couple of miles out of town. Unfortunately, it may be a little dark by the time I get there. The visit with Dawn I handled pretty efficiently, but that storm delay cost me a good 2 hours or so. Kind of wish I had pushed it while it was still raining a little bit more. So, short of a friendly farmer, I'm just walking out this road until I find some woods, and then hoping I can get inside of them and find a reasonable tent spot. So what I basically do is go into Google Maps, turn on the satellite view, and then look for any large areas of trees accessible from the road that don't have houses, inside of them. You can't always see everything, but it's at least lets me pick a few likely options. Little guys. Okay, 9:17, and just gotta get past through the last couple of houses, and then there's my primary option. Okay, well, second time tonight setting this up in slightly less than ideal circumstances. And thanks to that whole storm earlier, everything is soaking wet, so woohoo. Home sweet home.